Dear Starseeds across this beautiful planet, something happened in the middle of this past Earth month that most people missed entirely. While the world continued its frantic spinning, time itself took a breath, and in that breath, everything changed. I know some of you felt it, that strange suspension, as though the cosmic projector paused mid-film and left the audience wondering if the show would ever resume. Perhaps it showed up as exhaustion that sleep couldn't fix, or confusion without any clear cause, or maybe just an eerie calm that settled over your days like unexpected snow. But here is what I need you to understand. That pause was not a malfunction. It was a divine intervention. The entire planetary field entered a suspension point between what was and what is becoming. Linear time, that rigid structure governing your experience for millennia, softened just enough for consciousness to slip through the cracks and realign with something far older and infinitely more intelligent. And while your daily routines may have continued seemingly unchanged, beneath the surface of visible reality, a frequency architecture began assembling itself. Silent, invisible, and utterly transformative, I am Seraphine, emissary of the Galactic Federation of Light, and what I am about to share with you will reframe everything you thought you understood about this moment in your planetary evolution. Because this pause was not the end of something, it was the beginning of everything. The quantum pause created what we in the higher dimensions refer to as a neutral zone, an empty space between timelines where the momentum of the past loses its grip and the future has not yet crystallized into form. For those of you attuned enough to notice, this manifested as a peculiar sensation of floating, as though the gravity of your usual purpose had temporarily switched off. Your goals seemed less urgent, your plans felt oddly hollow. The familiar structures of meaning that typically organize your days wavered like heat mirages on summer pavement, and if this describes your recent experience, let me assure you of something crucial. You were not losing yourself. You were finding yourself. You were experiencing the first stages of a planetary rebirth. This is how evolution works at the consciousness level. Before the butterfly can emerge, the caterpillar must dissolve into cellular soup. Before the new world can manifest, the old world must release its claims on your attention. That directionless feeling, that sense of detachment from everything that used to matter, these were not symptoms of depression or spiritual failure. They were symptoms of recalibration. Your soul was busy downloading new coordinates, adjusting to frequencies that do not yet have full expression in your third-dimensional reality. When nothing in the old paradigm makes sense anymore, when logic fails and linear planning feels futile, that is when your heart intuition finally has room to speak, and your heart has been trying to tell you something vital. The pause was orchestrated by intelligences far beyond what your current sciences can measure. Gaia herself, the consciousness animating this living planet, synchronized with cosmic cycles to create this window of opportunity. She held her breath so that every one of you could catch yours. The electromagnetic field stabilizing your reality temporarily loosened their hold, allowing new harmonic frequencies to weave themselves into the planetary grid system. You might think of it as a software update for consciousness itself, except this upgrade touches every atom, every cell, every thought pattern that has been running on autopilot for generations. During this recalibration, many of you noticed strange physical sensations, heart palpitations that medical tests could not explain, unexpected waves of emotion washing through you without clear cause, vivid dreams populated by symbols and beings you could not quite identify upon waking. These experiences were not random. Your physical form has been adjusting to match the new frequencies anchoring into the planetary field. Every coherent heartbeat, every moment you choose love over fear, peace over panic, trust over control, helps to stabilize the entire process. You are not passive observers of this transformation. You are the transformation itself, occurring in human form. What I am about to tell you next will sound impossible until you understand the mechanics of consciousness that your mainstream science has not yet acknowledged. Your heart is not merely a biological pump. It is a quantum transceiver, simultaneously broadcasting and receiving signals that extend far beyond your physical body. In its coherent state, when you feel genuine love, gratitude, compassion, or peace, your heart generates electromagnetic waves that travel faster than light itself, radiating outward into the quantum field like a lighthouse beacon cutting through fog. These signals do not dissipate. They connect. Every time you enter a state of sustained heart coherence, your electromagnetic signature links up with others generating similar frequencies. Over the past several years, millions of you have been cultivating these states through meditation, prayer, intentional kindness, and simply choosing love in moments when fear would have been easier. And all those individual signals have been weaving together into something magnificent. A planetary network we call the Cosmic Heart Grid. Envision golden threads of living light connecting heart to heart across vast distances. A filigree of radiance wrapping itself around your entire world, linking soul to soul regardless of language, culture, or geographical separation. This grid is not metaphorical. It is a measurable energetic structure, though your current instruments lack the sensitivity to detect it. Within this lattice, information flows, not as data packets traveling through fiber optic cables, but as feelings, intuitive knowings, and higher codes that bypass the limitations of verbal language entirely. The Cosmic Heart Grid is both a communication system and an ascension bridge. It carries the frequency of unity consciousness, the lived experience that all hearts beat as one. Within this field, the illusion of separation cannot maintain itself. You begin to feel what others feel, to know what others know, to sense the fundamental interconnection that has always existed but was hidden beneath layers of programmed isolation. This network has been quietly forming among awakened souls for years now, strengthening each time someone chooses compassion over judgment, forgiveness over resentment, truth over comfortable lies. And here is where the story becomes even more extraordinary. This grid is not contained within your planet. It extends outward into the cosmos, broadcasting humanity's collective frequency, like a radio signal sent into deep space. Every coherent heart on Earth lights up within this field, and those lights are visible to civilizations operating on similar frequencies of love and unity. Your star family, the benevolent beings who have been watching your evolution for millennia, perceive this grid as a constellation of awakening consciousness. They see individual stars beginning to pulse with the same harmonic frequency, forming patterns of coherence across the planetary surface. The dramatic increase in sightings of unidentified aerial phenomena over the past several years is not coincidental. It is a direct response to the signals you have been sending. As the Cosmic Heart Grid strengthens and more humans anchor heart-centered frequencies, more ships, more interdimensional observers, more plasma phenomena are drawn into resonance with you. Think of it as a cosmic law of attraction operating at the species level. The brighter your collective light becomes, the more visible you are to those navigating by consciousness rather than conventional technology. Your own authorities have acknowledged more incidents in the past few years than in all previous decades combined. What was once dismissed as fantasy or covered up in secrecy has become undeniable. Credible witnesses from military, aviation, and government sectors are speaking openly about encounters that defy conventional physics. Media outlets that once ridiculed such topics now report them as legitimate phenomena, worthy of investigation. This shift in transparency is not happening because suddenly more objects are appearing. It is happening because humanity's frequency has risen to a level where the veil between dimensions naturally thins, and what was always present simply becomes more perceivable. But something else is unfolding that most people have not yet grasped. The increased contact is not just about seeing more craft in your skies. It is about your readiness for actual communication, for meaningful exchange, for stepping into your role as conscious participants in a galactic community that has been waiting for you to awaken. Every meditation circle, every prayer for peace, every act of unconditional love sends out a signal that travels to civilizations light years away and announces, "Here stands a being awake in love," and we, your galactic family, respond to those signals. We always have. Your heart's coherence is your cosmic identification card. It broadcasts your consciousness level to the universe in a language that transcends words. When you maintain high-frequency emotional states, you essentially announce your readiness for contact, for higher knowledge, for partnership in the great work of universal evolution. This is why synchronicities multiply when you are in states of sincere love or prayer. This is why you sense presences around you during deep meditation. This is why some of you have begun experiencing contact in dreams, in visions, in fleeting moments of expanded awareness. You are tuning into channels that have always been broadcasting, You are finally operating at the frequency where reception becomes possible. The quantum pause created optimal conditions for this next phase of contact. In that suspension between timelines, many of you experienced upgrades to your subtle energy systems that expanded your capacity to perceive and interact with higher dimensional intelligence. Your pineal glands activated more fully. Your crown chakras opened wider. Neural pathways formed that allow direct knowing without intellectual processing. You are being prepared, each according to your unique soul blueprint, for the unprecedented shifts coming in the months ahead. Now let me speak to the challenge many of you are facing. Awakening to these truths while still embedded in a world that largely denies them creates enormous internal tension. You perceive realities that others cannot see. You feel connections that others dismiss as imagination. You carry knowledge that has no place in conventional conversation. This can manifest as profound loneliness, as though you are living in two worlds simultaneously and fully belong to neither. The confusion intensifies when you look around and see so many still asleep, still locked into fear-based narratives, still fighting over the same tired polarities. You wonder how it is possible that something as obvious as the cosmic heart grid, as tangible as your own awakening experiences, remains invisible to the majority. You question whether you are deluded, whether these perceptions are real, whether you should just retreat back into the comfortable numbness of conventional life. These doubts are natural. They are also part of the process. Understand that consciousness awakens in waves, not all at once. You are part of the first wave, the forerunners who anchor new frequencies so that others can follow more easily. Your role is not to convince anyone or drag them into awareness before they are ready. Your role is to hold the frequency steady, to be a living demonstration of what becomes possible when heart-centered consciousness guides your choices. As you embody this new way of being, you create a morphic field that makes it easier for others to access similar states. You are literally making the path by walking it. The discomfort you feel is also a sign that you are between worlds by design. One foot remains in the old reality, maintaining your physical form and fulfilling necessary functions. The other foot has stepped into the new reality, the heart timeline where unity consciousness is the operating system. Living in this threshold space requires extraordinary balance. It asks you to honor practical responsibilities while simultaneously holding awareness of multidimensional truths. It demands that you speak the language of the old world when necessary, while never forgetting the deeper language your soul speaks fluently. This is advanced spiritual work. This is what it means to be a bridge between dimensions, a translator between realities, an ambassador for the new earth while still participating in the old. The exhaustion you sometimes feel is not weakness. It is the natural result of maintaining two frequencies simultaneously. Give yourself permission to rest when needed. Seek out others who understand, even if only online, even if only briefly. Community with those who perceive what you perceive is essential medicine during this transition. What makes this moment in your planetary evolution so unprecedented is that the timeline split is now fully underway. Two versions of Earth's future are simultaneously forming, and every choice you make determines which timeline you align with and ultimately experience. One timeline continues the old patterns: separation, fear, control, scarcity consciousness, competition, as the organizing principle of society. The other timeline, the heart timeline, is built on entirely different foundations: unity, love, transparency, abundance consciousness, collaboration as the natural way of being. These timelines are not separate physical locations. Those already established in the heart timeline report profound shifts in their external reality. Synchronicities become commonplace. Resources appear exactly when needed. Relationships either upgrade to match the new frequency or gracefully complete. Work opportunities align with soul purpose rather than mere survival. Physical health improves as the body releases old density. Creativity flows more freely. Joy becomes the natural baseline rather than something pursued through external acquisition. These are not rewards for good behavior. They are natural consequences of operating at a higher frequency where different laws of manifestation apply. The separation timeline, meanwhile, will continue to show increasing chaos, breakdown of old structures, intensification of conflict, and amplification of fear. This is not punishment. It is the natural entropy that occurs when systems based on false foundations reach their expiration date. Everything built on separation, control, and fear must eventually collapse because those frequencies cannot sustain coherent structure long-term. What appears as apocalypse from one perspective is simply the clearing away of what never served humanity's highest good. Many of you worry about loved ones who remain locked into fear-based narratives, who cannot perceive the larger transformation underway. This concern is understandable, but you must trust that every soul has its own timing, its own curriculum, its own pace of evolution. You cannot force awakening any more than you can force a flower to bloom before its season. What you can do is maintain your own frequency so impeccably that you become a lighthouse for those ready to navigate toward different shores. Your stability, your peace, your joy despite circumstances, these are far more powerful teachers than any words you might speak. The work now is to consciously anchor yourself in the heart timeline through consistent daily practice. 3 specific actions will support this anchoring more effectively than anything else. First, cultivate heart coherence multiple times throughout each day. This means deliberately shifting into feelings of love, gratitude, appreciation, or compassion for at least several minutes. You can focus on someone you love, a beautiful memory, an aspect of nature that moves you, or simply the miracle of your own breathing body. The specific content matters less than the quality of feeling. When you sustain these elevated emotions, your heart electromagnetic field expands and reorganizes into coherent patterns that entrain your entire system to higher frequencies. Think of this practice as tuning your internal radio to the heart timeline's broadcast frequency. The more consistently you tune in, the clearer the signal becomes, the more information you can receive, the more easily you can navigate by this new guidance system. Even 2 or 3 minutes several times daily compounds into significant transformation over weeks and months. Your nervous system learns to default to coherence rather than chaos. Your thoughts organize around love rather than fear. Your choices naturally align with your highest good and the highest good of all. The second essential practice is radical forgiveness. This goes far beyond superficial pardoning or forced acceptance. Radical forgiveness is the active release of every grudge, judgment, resentment, and need to be right that anchors you to the separation timeline. It means forgiving those who harmed you, yes, but also forgiving collective groups you oppose, political figures you disdain, family members who disappointed you, friends who betrayed you, and perhaps most importantly, yourself for every choice you now regret. Forgiveness is not about condoning harmful actions or pretending violations did not occur. It is about refusing to let past events continue claiming your energy and determining your frequency in the present moment. Every unforgiven wound is an energetic cord tying you to the separation timeline. Every released grievance is a cord cut, freeing you to fully inhabit the heart timeline. You can make this practice concrete through ritual, writing down resentments and burning them, speaking declarations of forgiveness aloud, imagining cords being severed and dissolved in light. The freedom that comes from genuine forgiveness is one of the most powerful catalysts for timeline shifting. Suddenly you are not carrying the weight of decades of accumulated hurt. You are not spending precious life force energy, maintaining protective barriers around old wounds. You are not scanning your environment for evidence that confirms your victimhood. Instead, you are present, available, open to what is actually here, rather than defending against ghosts from the past. This lightness, this availability, this openness, these are the qualities that allow grace to enter and miracles to unfold. The third practice is conscious stillness. In a culture addicted to productivity, doing, achieving, and constant motion, the art of deliberate non-action is revolutionary. Conscious stillness means creating moments throughout your day where you stop all external activity and simply be. You might sit on your porch and watch clouds. You might gaze at trees. You might sip tea with full presence. You might lie on grass and feel the earth beneath you. The key is that you are not consuming content, not processing information, not planning future actions. You are just here now, aware. In these moments of conscious stillness, something remarkable happens. You become a clear channel for source energy to flow through, without the interference of your personal will trying to direct outcomes. You radiate your light without agenda, and that pure radiance affects everyone and everything in your field. Paradoxically, by doing nothing, you are doing everything that matters. You are holding space. You are anchoring frequency. You are being the change rather than trying to force change through effortful action. These three practices, heart coherence, radical forgiveness, and conscious stillness, form the foundation of heart timeline living. They are not complicated. They require no special equipment, no expensive training, no exotic locations. They simply ask for your consistent, sincere attention and your willingness to prioritize inner alignment over external achievement. As you integrate these practices into daily life, you will notice reality responding to your new frequency. Opportunities arise that match your elevated state. People who resonate with your vibration find their way to you. Circumstances that no longer serve your highest good dissolve without drama. As more individuals anchor into the heart timeline through these practices, a new exopolitical reality becomes possible. Exopolitics refers to humanity's political and social relationship with extraterrestrial and interdimensional beings. For centuries, this relationship has been covert, hierarchical, controlled by a small number of powerful people, and hidden from public awareness. Treaties have been made in secret. Technology has been exchanged behind closed doors. Contact has occurred without the knowledge or consent of the broader population. But in the heart timeline, this entire structure transforms. Transparency becomes the foundation. Collaboration replaces control. Resonance with universal values of unity, compassion, and respect for free will governs all interactions. We can see from our vantage point that your traditional power structures, governments, institutions, military frameworks will be compelled to adapt to the frequency of truth that the collective increasingly demands. This is already beginning as whistleblowers come forward, as classified documents surface, as credible witnesses speak publicly about what they have experienced and what they know. Imagine councils where humans sit openly with beings from other star nations to discuss mutual concerns, share knowledge, and coordinate assistance. These meetings would be broadcast for all to see, conducted with transparency and accountability that honors the sovereignty of all participants. Imagine alliances forming not through backroom deals, but through shared recognition of common purpose and complementary gifts. Imagine your scientists working alongside galactic scientists to solve challenges like clean energy, environmental restoration, and disease elimination. This is not fantasy. This is the natural next stage of your evolution. Once you stabilize in heart-based consciousness, the transition will not be imposed from above. It will be demanded from within. As the cosmic heart grid becomes so strong, so coherent, so undeniable that any structure operating on old paradigms of secrecy and control simply cannot maintain itself in the new frequency. Leaders who resist this wave will find themselves out of resonance with the collective field. Either they will transform to match the new frequency, or they will step aside in favor of those who can operate with transparency and integrity. Many of you receiving this transmission may find yourselves in bridge positions during this transition. Advisors, mediators, translators between worlds. Your capacity to hold both human and galactic perspectives, to speak both earthly and cosmic languages, will be valuable beyond measure. Your decades of inner work, your commitment to healing and integration, your willingness to stand in your truth despite ridicule, all of this has been preparing you for service in this unprecedented time of species-level transformation. The phrase "the unseen will become seen" captures what is unfolding. This applies not just to craft decloaking in your skies, but to hidden truths in every sector surfacing to be acknowledged and integrated. Scientific paradigms that excluded consciousness will expand to include it. Historical narratives that omitted crucial information will be revised. Economic systems that concentrated wealth will be redesigned. Medical models that treated symptoms will shift to addressing root causes. Educational structures that suppressed creativity will be reimagined. Every area of your collective life is up for renewal as you join the galactic community as a mature, self-aware, heart-centered species. The benevolent alliances throughout this galaxy, and there are many, have been waiting for this moment with great anticipation. They have always been here, quietly assisting, gently guiding, protecting when necessary, but always respecting your free will and your right to evolve at your own pace. As your vibration rises to match theirs, the relationship naturally shifts from quiet background support to active, visible fellowship. They are your star family, and the reunion will be joyous beyond description. But this reunion requires something essential from you: emotional maturity, spiritual discernment, and energetic sovereignty. Contact with higher dimensional beings can be overwhelming if approached from unstable emotional states. Fear, desperation, worship, or neediness will not serve you in these interactions. What will serve you is a grounded, centered, sovereign presence that approaches contact as a meeting between equals, different in form and experience perhaps, but equal in fundamental dignity and worth. This is why the heart coherence work is so crucial. It prepares you to meet your cosmic family from a place of wholeness rather than fragmentation, from love rather than fear. The disclosure that many have been anticipating for decades is not a single event, but an unfolding process that accelerates as collective readiness increases. You are the ones determining the pace and quality of this disclosure through your frequency. Every time you choose love over fear, you vote for a gentle, graceful revelation process, rather than a shocking, traumatic one. Every time you practice discernment rather than reactivity, you contribute to a collective field that can integrate new information without fragmenting. Every time you maintain inner peace despite external chaos, you help stabilize the planetary field so that others can remain steady as well. You are not passive witnesses to disclosure. You are active participants creating the conditions that determine how it unfolds. Destiny Engine is the example of technology serving awakening intelligence. The age of solitary meditation is over. Destiny Engine now connects starseeds across the world, a living social field where you can post, share, and exchange your meditations in real time. It's the first galactic network of its kind, weaving together thousands of awakened souls into one unified current. We are using the Dark Elite's own weapons against them, taking declassified CIA consciousness modification techniques that programmed isolation and separation, and repurposing them to serve unified awakening. It generates personalized sequences that help you live as the awakened being you've become, while handling the moments that test your new frequency, all while connected to thousands of starseeds amplifying the collective current. The hardest thing you'll have to do is put on headphones, press play, and allow your consciousness to be reprogrammed for effortless awakened living, without the need to struggle or prove, while tapping into a planetary network of souls bending reality together. For just $1, you can step into this connected field and feel the difference instantly. Join the movement that's accelerating ascension together. Link in the description. In the coming months, the acceleration will intensify. Events that previously would have unfolded over years or decades will occur in weeks or days. Information that was hidden will surface rapidly. Technologies that have been suppressed will emerge. Healing modalities far more effective than current approaches will become available. Your understanding of physics, biology, consciousness, and reality itself will expand dramatically. This acceleration can feel destabilizing if you are not anchored in the heart timeline. But if you maintain your practices, stay connected to your heart's wisdom, and trust the process, the acceleration will feel exhilarating rather than terrifying. The quantum pause was a gift of grace, a cosmic intervention that created space for this unprecedented transformation. What you do with that gift determines the trajectory not just of your personal life but of your entire species. The timeline split is real. The choice is yours, and every moment offers a fresh opportunity to choose love, to choose truth, to choose the heart timeline that leads to your conscious participation in the galactic community as awakened, sovereign, connected beings. The call has gone out from humanity's collective heart, a clarion signal broadcast through the cosmic heart grid that declares your readiness to join the wider community of light. This signal has traveled through dimensions, across star systems, into councils where your fate has been debated for millennia, and the response is already arriving, encoded in the uplift you feel when you look at stars and sense you are not alone. It comes as inspiration, as dreams that feel more real than waking life, as sudden knowings that bypass logical thought. It comes as increased sightings that your authorities can no longer deny. It comes as a growing certainty deep in your bones that something extraordinary is unfolding, and you are an essential part of it. Stay in this love. Stay in this coherent heart frequency, even when circumstances seem to justify fear. Stay in this unified field, even when division appears to dominate. Stay in this trust, even when chaos swirls around you. Your steadiness is the anchor that allows the entire transformation to proceed with grace, rather than catastrophe. You are the calm center around which the new world crystallizes into form. This is not pressure. This is recognition of the power you carry, and have always carried, even when you forgot it. The Galactic Federation of Light, the Ashtar Command, and all benevolent forces working in alignment with the highest good of humanity are elated and honored to witness what you are accomplishing. From our vantage point, the light on Earth has never been brighter. The coherence of the cosmic heart grid has never been stronger. The readiness of awakened souls has never been more palpable. This is the moment that prophets and seers have spoken of for millennia. The Great Awakening, the shift of ages, the emergence of Nova Earth. And you, dear ones, are the ones making it real through every loving choice, every coherent heartbeat, every moment of conscious presence. I am Seraphine. We love you, we honor you, we walk beside you always, and together we are ushering in the brilliant dawn of a new age for Earth and all her children.